Hello everyone, my name's Katy Gibbons. I'm a senior lecturer in history. This short video is just to introduce you to say a little bit more about the teaching and learning activities and resources available to students studying history at Portsmouth. So the main message here is that we emphasise small group interactive teaching. We want you to develop your ideas and your thinking about the past in discussion with your tutor and your peers. Lectures are part of our programme, particularly in the first and second years of the degree course. Currently, of course, in our current blended model of learning, some of this will be online. Some of these events, at least, will be online events. So we have lectures, but we also place more emphasis on things like seminars and workshops, where you're working with a small group of other students to discuss reading, to work your way through primary sources, to delve into debates, to test ideas out, to ask questions, and to learn together with your peers and with your tutors. We also have a number of one-to-one tutorials, which are part of the personal tutor system that we have, so that each student will have a personal tutor who keeps an eye out for their academic and pastoral situation across their 3 years. But we also use tutorials and what we call office hours as a time for students to consolidate their learning, to ask further questions, to ask for further explanation or support if they want, particularly in relation to their assessments, but also about other things too. So the main message is that the traditional idea of a lecture, where the lecturer just talks at you for 50 minutes non-stop, is only really a very small part, and perhaps not even the most important part of the learning activities throughout the course of your degree. Just to flag up to you some of the online resources available to you as history students at Portsmouth. Our library at Portsmouth has always invested very heavily in digital versions of learning resources, particularly in relation to ebooks, which means that lots of students can access the same text without having to compete for the hard copies in the library. Even more excitingly, more interestingly, the University of Portsmouth, the library here, has bought or subscribed to lots of really incredibly useful, brilliant online resources for students and staff to use. These are just fantastic collections of primary sources which you will use throughout your taught courses, but you might also use to develop things like research projects and dissertations in the later stages of your undergraduate degree. I've just, on this slide, I've just given you a few examples of some of the resources, so anything from material, culture and objects in early modern England to tracking the movement of migrants to the Americas, to Australia, to other parts of the globe, to a collection called Empire Online, which contains huge resources to study empire from lots of different angles. So the resources available to students for both for their taught modules, but also for research projects are really exciting. In terms of assessment, I think it is very worth us emphasising that we don't at Portsmouth place the main emphasis on examinations as the only or the ultimate way for us to test what you've learned. Instead, we give you a range of different assessments which are designed to allow you to demonstrate how your thinking and learning have progressed over the time that you're with us. So you will write slightly more traditional things like written essays. You will also be asked to write things like reports on project work that you've carried out, blogs explaining and exploring primary sources to a wider audience. You'll be asked to give presentations, both as a group but also as individuals. And there's also a certain amount of assessment where we are kind of keeping track of how you are developing and working as you go along within our seminars. So in other words, there's a wide range of assessment methods that we use, and we never have a module where everything hangs on one piece of assessment. Thank you for listening.